Hey everybody, it's Indy here. I just want to do a little bit of a civil rant is what I would call it. Okay. Today I had a very bothersome experience through Facebook. The only name I'm going to mention is Lisa the Pagan or Lisa the Wiccan. It happened on her Facebook. I'm friends with her on Facebook, and lately, you know she's eclectic. For those of you who know her, lately she's been into hoodoo. She's learning about it, and that's fine. Especially being eclectic, you can do whatever you like. Okay. But today, I noticed it today. I don't know if she's been doing it for a few days. I just seen it today. She's been putting up hoodoo spells. And for those of you who know hoodoo, we use the Bible in our practices, for our spell work. So she put up a couple spells today, and there was the usage of the Psalms, and she had a friend who now, after what happened, I don't think they're friends anymore, who completely opposed her putting up a spell that involved the use of the Bible. And she had questioned her, and said, what's with that spell, basically? Why are you putting up a spell that has the Psalms in it? And Lisa told her, well, it's hoodoo. And then she followed it with, I'm studying hoodoo, just like that. And the friend came back with something to the effect of, please be careful what you're doing. You're dabbling, and remember your roots. Okay. So I first commented saying, Lisa, I'm a hoodoo practitioner. If you want to collab with me on Facebook and YouTube, let's hook up. And then I followed it in the same comment with, she's eclectic, so it's not dabbling. Okay. So with that being said, that sparked a horrible conversation that involved other people who are trying to defend the fact that hoodoo is legitimate. Okay. And that there are practices out there predating Wicca that have used the Bible and magic. And she did not want to hear any of it. She was refusing it all the way. She even went as far as calling me an old cult leader bitch, is what she called me. So excuse the French there, but she completely called me out my name, okay? I think the only thing that I had said on there towards her was something to the effect of, I hate using labels, but all I can see here is the word fluffy bunny repeating in my head. Because to me, when I first started with Wicca, I learned that a fluffy bunny was somebody who didn't know a whole lot in Wicca, and they were trying to show that they did, or something to that effect. It's been years, so, I don't do Wicca anymore, so. And that's all I had said, okay? Maybe it was an insult to her, so I apologize, but I didn't actually call her out her name the way she did to me. So we were trying to explain to her, because she asked, what does the Bible and Christianity have to do with witchcraft and paganism? I thought she genuinely wanted to know that was basically her way of saying, what is hoodoo? So I explained it to her. I started it with explaining that hoodoo is an African-based magical system. It stems from Africa, and it came with the slaves. They had to use Christianity as a guise to protect themselves and still practice what they had always practiced all their lives, or risk punishment, which included death. The Native Americans that were enslaved had taught them how to use the herbs, roots, and plants of this land, because they couldn't really bring the plants and the herbs and roots from their motherland. If they could, it was far and few in between that they could bring, of what they could bring. So hoodoo has a lot of Native American influence, and it also has a lot of European influence with the grimoires and with the African slaves being able to expand their magic more by learning the magic from, in European influences. And then, to top it all off, there's a little bit of Jewish influence. If you look back into the 1930s and 40s, okay, a lot of hoodoo practitioners who started mail ordering their supplies were receiving it from Jewish suppliers. And there's a little bit of a Kabbalistic effect to hoodoo if you really look at it. Okay, so mixing all of that together, although it's mainly African, but it is a syncretized belief system, a magical belief system. It doesn't adhere to any particular religion, but it does use the Psalms, okay? So there you go. I explained also that the Psalms can be broken up And if you deeply look into each scripture in the Psalms, you can see blessings and you can see curses. You want to do a return to sender spell, use Psalms 109. You need to go against an enemy who's been attacking you and going against you, Psalms 2 and Psalms 3. You want to bless anything down from holy water to any items, Psalms 23. You want to do a love spell, go to out of Psalms and go to Song of Songs, okay? Moses, remember Moses? To me, he was a conjurer. Okay, he conjured things to happen, the biggest conjurer in the Bible. Okay, there's magic in the Bible. They look at it as miracles. I look at it as magic. Okay, so there you go. I explained to her that it is folk magic. It is just plain hoodoo. If you look at it as witchcraft, other people also look at it as witchcraft. It is plain folk magic, hoodoo, root work, conjure. She still wasn't having it. She immediately went to saying, as soon as I heard Bible, all I heard was blah, blah, blah. Wow. Okay, so why ask? I began to notice that she was asking in a asshole-ish way, not a genuine I want to know way. So other people started jumping on her about that. Gerald Gardner, even though he originated, including myself, he originated Wicca, but he came from a background of witches who taught him how to be a witch, and more than likely they knew about ceremonial magic, they knew about Thelemic ways, they knew about the Golden Dawn, they potentially came from there, at least one of them, and they knew about the Keys of Solomon, and Solomon was a big figure in the Bible. If you know who King Solomon is, cool. You don't look him up. But the Keys of Solomon, okay, I looked up the Keys of Solomon and roughly went over it, and I saw a lot of, there was demonic things, like demons or something like that. I could be wrong, okay, but it was still pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of what it is, the Keys of Solomon come from a man who comes from the Bible, and there are a lot of witches from back way when to now that know how to use the Keys of Solomon, okay? But this girl still wasn't having it, okay? On top of that, somebody else was telling her there are museums that have witchcraft artifacts, okay, including spell books that they have dug up and found. And in these spell books, from hundreds of years ago, they would see that witches were using God, Jesus, and biblical scripture in their spell work. She still wasn't having it. Okay, it was like she went duh to duh, and dumber to dumber, dumbest, or whatever the case may be. She went doy, basically, okay? And she just was refusing it and continued to bash and say we were Jesus something, Bible something, praising the Lord, and just insulting, very insulting. I could just only imagine if she came across the wrong witch or the wrong hoodoo practitioner, because we follow the Bible, and in the Bible, for magical purposes, mind you. On top of that, there are hoodoo practitioners who do go to church and are Christian. A lot of them, you could find some Protestants, because that's where it started. So, but, it doesn't matter, though. I'm so sorry. I have something bothering me right there. So, I am so sorry about that. That was gross. So, with that being said, okay, the Bible says eye for an eye. Okay, hoodoo has a lot of retributive characteristics, in the sense of you can protect yourself if you have to. If somebody's messing with you, attacking you, harming you, jinxing you, hexing you, laying a trick on you, you can return it back and worse. Hence, for example, goofer dust. Look up goofer dust. Okay, it comes from a Congo word called kufwa. And I guess to the hoodoo practitioners, it sounded kind of similar to goofer. And from kufwa came goofer. Sometimes they call it gopher dust. Okay, and this is a very powerful, scary dust. It can cause harm. I've heard stories where you can kill somebody with it. This is hoodoo. Okay, so there's your eye for an eye. She comes across the wrong hoodoo practitioner who feels she's attacking our community, and I feel sorry for her. I wipe my hands clean of it because I wouldn't do it. I only use sour jars and other protective spells and return to sender spells if I'm being attacked first. Other than that, I'm all for healing and protection. Okay, and doing my weekly offerings to Yamayan Shango, which I have to do tonight. So. I wish that she would learn to not be so ignorant. She's making she's giving a bad name to Wiccans when they don't deserve it, because there are true, genuine Wiccans out there that love their religion, love their people, and are open-minded and understanding, humble and sweet and peace-loving. And it's sad that she is discriminating against hoodoo practitioners when we all fall under the umbrella of the occult, and we are all treated the same by other people who look at us as devil worshippers, regardless of what we do. I'm a hoodoo practitioner. I could be standing next to a Wiccan, a Druid, a Native American, just plain old spiritualist, okay, a plain old witch, okay. I could be an Enochian over here on my left, okay, a Thelemic over here on my right, and we're all looked as devil worshippers. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. So blessings and have a wonderful night.